What does the Lord require of you? Today's readings are powerful, well-known, and beloved. How many of you can almost recite the Beatitudes from memory? Or do you hold fast to the saying from Micah, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God"? Why are they important? How do we live in light of these teachings? In the Gospel of Matthew, he often speaks about or points to the kingdom of God. It is a kingdom not in the distant future, at the end of the world as we know it, or of reality, but a kingdom made manifest in the present moment throughout all time through God's people. In our story from Matthew, as the crowds hear Jesus, they seek him out and follow him, led by a deep desire to be healed, to learn from his teaching, and a yearning for hope in a distressed world. Here, as Jesus goes up the mountain, he sits down with his disciples, and he begins to speak words of healing and hope as he lovingly embraces his disciples and the gathered crowd with his words. People who came from far off and near, from all directions, carrying with them the brokenness and burdens of their lives. He acknowledges them and their vulnerabilities. He blesses them as they are. Imagine yourself sitting in the crowd as one of the disciples. Listen and hear Jesus speaking these words to the inner reaches of your heart. Let them resonate in your being, and notice which beatitude most profoundly speaks to you today. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. For each broken bit in our souls, Jesus offers hope. He blesses our brokenness, and in turn, through our vulnerability, we bless others, not by trying to be or do anything spectacular, but by simply being and having courage to be present in our vulnerability. God is always with us, especially in our most devastating moments. In Micah, we hear an intimate conversation between God and God's people. Pleading his case before creation, God wonders what he has done to the people. They have turned away. He wonders how he has wearied them. And then God reminds them of how they were rescued from Egypt redeemed from slavery, and Moses, Aaron, and Miriam were sent before them, and God saved them over and over. What does God require in return? Burnt offerings? Thousands of rams? Rivers of oil? One's firstborn child? No, God requires human beings to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with God, all of which are needed in the world, especially now. Through the past several years, the world, including us, has experienced many, many things, each one serving to isolate, fragment, and create division. And the truth is, we may not even realize how fragmented we've become, individually and as a whole. This past weekend, the vestry and I were on retreat, and at dinner on Saturday, we engaged in faith story sharing. It was powerful and healing. Through it, we realized how much we have missed deeper connection and how important it is to listen to one another into healing and wholeness. Sharing our stories helps to knit us together, release the feelings of isolation, hurt, and sorrow we have all been carrying and experiencing. There is a Japanese art of repairing broken pottery, and I expect you may have heard of it or seen it. It's called kintsugi and means golden joinery, or the repairing of broken pottery with lacquer and gold. And if you've ever seen one, a restored pot, they are beautiful. Especially the deep blue ones with golden veins running through them. It's just stunning. And through being rejoined, the pot becomes a new creation, a thing of beauty stronger than it was before. Kintsugi teaches us that even though things may be damaged or broken, they are still valuable and have meaning and can become beautiful new creations. And if I can be so bold, we all have broken bits. I believe it is our faith and trust in God which forms the golden seams and repairs our brokenness. Through listening to others' broken bits, we listen them and even the world into wholeness, creating a brand new golden seam. So how then shall we live? How do we change the world? How do we bring about the kingdom of heaven? Listen. Be kind. Have compassion. And ask, what does the Lord require of me?